very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Stephen George and our sign language interpreter tonight is Paul Madenge. Now to our first story. The church in Kenya is now under pressure to reclaim its voice and leadership role as over 800 pastors gather in Nairobi for the second Difference Makers Conference, calling for a spiritual shift away from political influence and a return to the core teachings of the Bible. Molin Rono reports.
Church leaders from across Kenya gathered in Nairobi for the second Difference Makers Conference, where they challenged the church to reclaim its authority. The leaders now say that the pulpit is slowly losing moral authority, as the church uses politicians as a platform for influence. Evangelical leaders are urging their fellow preachers to resist donations that come with political strings attached and to focus on biblical truth and societal oversight. Bishop Moses Omondi Odhiambo, president of Echoes of Mercy Mission, emphasized that the church must not become a mouthpiece for politicians. He said that the congregation looks to the church for moral guidance, and the clergy must call out societal evils as they are.
We are raising leaders in our churches that are entrusted with leadership in the offices. And sometimes we face corruption, we face things, tribal issues, and things that are breaking the society. We hope that as the church accept its role, as the church get focused into their role and into their assignment, the church is a place where a conversation about a society that is united, a people that live with one another in peace and unity can be cultivated.
Visiting American preacher Johnny Hunt echoed similar sentiments, urging the African church to stand firm in defense of the people's rights and remain accountable to biblical teachings.
We believe the church can work hand in hand with the government in making a difference. Coming from the United States, I've been honored to be invited by President Donald Trump to serve really on a prayer committee, one that would speak counsel into his life. And because of my schedule and simply because of some of my journeys even to Kenya, I had to decline the offer to really receive a great invitation. But it blessed me to know that our presidents on many occasions have called the Billy Grahams of this world to their office when there's times of trouble. But what we want to do is have a great relationship even in times of peace, because we believe we know the Prince of Peace and we can help.
This warning comes at a time when churches in Kenya have been criticized for allowing politicians to dominate services with flashy donations and veiled campaigns. According to Bishop Odhiambo, this shift has diluted the message of the gospel and compromised the independence of the pulpit. Also speaking at the event, Moses Githinji, youth chair of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, challenged the youth to reject political manipulation and take control of their destiny through values rooted in Scripture.
We need to be influencers and change to inspire and drive impact from a position of the Bible and not any other space. And so when we have politics involved, when we have issues, matters pertaining anything political, the church should take a stand on what the Bible says and how it addresses any issue regardless of culture. The Bible stands tall. And so a biblical view, a biblical perspective should be the focus of the church.
The week-long Difference Makers Conference continues with workshops focused on Bible-based teachings, community empowerment, and pastoral accountability. Church leaders hope that from this conference, a new generation of clergy will rise, one that will be bold enough to speak truth to power and remind the country of the true purpose of the church. For GBS News, I'm Molin Rono.
As the CHAN tournament is here, the weekly Boomerang edition explores all the actions on the pitch as we solidly remain behind our boys, the Harambee Stars team. The State House, where President William Ruto narrates to us how a visitor recently at State House was wowed at the kind of guests being allowed there. Here is the Boomerang edition.
The weekly Boomerang edition begins on a football now. Harambee Stars, hoy! CHAN is around. We stand with our boys, Kasongo, Panga Vijana.
For every game,
Not a laughing matter. A million Kenya shillings.
for every game you win, yeah, every player here gets $1 million shillings.
What a pledge. A draw.
For every game you draw, $500,000 shillings.
And once they clinch the trophy,
Nikasema mkimaliza finals, pesa yenu yote itakuwa 600 million.
in Kasongo's deal, everything is mathematically tripled.
Nimesema kila kitu times 3.
Vijana wacheze kama nani?
Kila mtu acheze kama yeye.
Exactly.
Sasa mjipange.
Seal the deal.
Do you have a deal, my friend? Yeah? Do you have a deal?
Another one.
Wakishinda hiyo, mimi Mike Mbuvi Sonko Gideon Kioko Kivanguli Kivatu na Ngilesi into bracket MBT.
All but a name. Repeat.
Mike Mbuvi Sonko Gideon Kioko Kivanguli Kivatu na Ngilesi into bracket MBT.
That's a whole paragraph. Bontao.
Adam kama Bontown nasema hivi. Nitashirikisha Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto na 400 million Kenya shillings.
400 meter again. Harambee Stars, hoy!
Kwa hivyo vijana, Harambee Stars, you have $1 billion. 600 million ya Kasongo, 400 million ya Sonko, umasonko wote duniani. Sonkore, Sonko one here. Hiyo ndio nimesema.
And after the real game and a win,
You guys, pongezi sana. Yeah? I've just come to tell you, keep it up. Right? This is just a good beginning. You did very well. Thank you, Bwana Otis, kwa kutupatia bao la pekee. Wapi huyo mungwana? Austin. Ako wapi Austin? Wewe Prezo, asubuhi, saa 2, pangana na hawa.
and the Harambee Stars Angola game gave Kasongo headache.
Thursday sasa ndio game yenyewe.
Here is WSR giving his game analysis.
You know, niliona kidogo pale tukianza. Mulitense kidogo mkaona, kitaumana ama ni aje.
Boomerang flies to State House. Be careful if you paid Kasongo a courtesy call in State House recently, for he is just about to spill the beans.
Unajua hapa State House pale nyuma watu ambao wanakuja hapa walikuwa ni wale wadosi. Sasa juzi kuna jamaa mmoja.
And this is the Jamaa who paid the visit.
Alikuja hapa State House, alafu wakati alirudi akasema, nimeenda pale State House. Pale State House huyu rais ameshusha sana kiwango ya State House. Kwa sababu wale watu wa huko State House siku hizi.
And who are these new guests at State House that marvels uhunye?
Ni watu tu hivi, yani watu kwa sababu hapa ilikuwa ni lazima uwe waziri ama uwe PS, governor wa mali fulani, ambassador wa mali fulani, lakini siku hizi hata bodaboda wako around.
The bodabodas couldn't help but revels as they were being elevated from bottom up.
Ndio.
No problem if they bask in glory for once. For tomorrow, they go back to bottom. Sindio Kasongo?
Na hakuna makosa. Si ndio? Kwani iko makosa?
Uhunye, Uhu Kasongo amekuchoma vibaya sana. Hug and go. But before, ask him always to make a call just to say hi. And that is the Boomerang Weekly Edition. I'm your Boomerang captain and pilot, Victor Udin.
Thank you for that stellar report. Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, is calling on Kenyans to support ongoing diplomatic efforts aimed at resolving rising regional tensions. Appearing before the National Assembly Committee on Regional Integration, Dr. Mudavadi urged patience as the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs works to address concerns. Following recent remarks from the Republic of Tanzania, he emphasized that diplomacy remains the most effective and sustainable path for peace, saying, "Let us allow the diplomatic process to proceed. If diplomacy fails, I will come and declare it. Then we can explore a different method." Dr. Musalia reaffirmed Kenya's tradition of good neighborliness, highlighting the country's strong ties with Tanzania and Uganda. He pointed to the ongoing CHAN 2024 football tournament, jointly hosted by the three nations, as a sign of continued cooperation and shared regional identity. The Prime CS also spoke on the economic benefits of the regional integration, crediting Kenya's increased exports and market access to its proactive role in the East African Community, COMESA, and African Continental Free Trade Area.
Are we engaging in bilateral conversations with the United States? Because AGOA is coming to an end. And AGOA was a policy position or incentive given by the United States to all African countries, not specific to Kenya. It is to all African countries. So if the American government is not renewing the AGOA framework for all African countries, then each country must engage in a bilateral conversation. So Kenya has already taken up its role. I've been to the Trade Department. The Minister for Trade is in a conversation, and we are working also through our mission on this matter so that we can tackle the issues around trade between us and...
Well, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 2114. We'll be right back.
Our riddle for the day, guys. I am easy to lift but hard to throw. What am I?
I've been a sculptor for many years now. It's about 44 years since I started doing as professional state artist.
For 44 years, that's almost half a century. But now, where did it start? Before the 44 years, where did it start?
For me, I use art to document culture and speak more about human life and activities through art, because I regard art as visual literature.
Anza wiki yako kwa njia sahihi kwa GBS Jumatatu.
Niko nawe hadi mida ya saa 4 asubuhi. Kwanza niseme asante kwa kuzidi kufuatilia na kutazama vipindi vyetu ambavyo huwa tunakuandalia hapa ndani ya GBS TV Jumatatu. People are now seeing the money that have been given to church as a bribe.
Jiunge nasi kila Jumatatu asubuhi kuanzia saa 1:30.
Nimesikia mwenzangu akifanya hesabu hapo ya vile ambavyo miungano zitakuwa. Ruto is going to fail whether with Raila or without Raila.
Kuna mahali anakosea akisema ati Raila na Ruto wataungana. Hakuna kuungana iko hapo, ndugu yangu, aje nikwambie ukweli.
Hadithi za kunoga.
Ukiangalia Wakenya, wananchi wa Kenya, pia hao maisha yao imedhulumiwa kwa kuongezwa kwa taxes, ziko very high taxes. So the statement by Rigathi Gachagua is just statement ya kumcheck that we can see you we can see between the lines.
Na mazungumzo yenye nguvu ya kukuletea utulivu kwa wiki yako.
Ati Raila ataingia UDA hapo
hiyo ndoto mimi yote nasema
hawezi, sababu
nasema hivi mheshimiwa, ikiwa Raila
itakuwa, mimi naona itakuwa
hadi saa 4 za asubuhi kwa majadiliano ya kusisimua.
Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto ajue ya kwamba sasa yeye ni president wa Kenya. Sio mambo ya kufanyia wana Kenya mzaha. Kupoteza biashara kwa siku moja katika CPD, nafikiria ni jambo ambalo ni rahisi.
Usikose, ingia kwenye GBS TV. Anza Jumatatu yako kwa kusudi.
If the government does not spend, my brother, hakuna maendeleo inaonekana, hakuna barabara zinatengenezwa, hakuna dawa kwa hospitali, my friend, economies will not grow.
Tuonane panapo majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu.
GBS Jumatatu, palipo mjadala wa leo na mwelekeo wa kesho.
AS and A levels is a qualification program that is advanced. That is after one has completed the high GCSE program, then they advise to continue for AS and A level. AS typically is a 1-year program, and A levels is done in the 2nd year after completing the AS level. And this one equips the student with the knowledge that is recommended for the university and also by employers outside the countries or within the country.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back. In Nairobi, the National Organizing Committee for the 25th East African Community MSME Trade Fair was officially launched. Kenya is hosting the fair for the 7th time under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. William Ruto as chair of the East African Community Summit. Now, a major regional platform, the EAC MSME Fair drives innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic transformation. Cabinet Secretary Dr. Wycliffe Oporanya announced that this year's fair will focus on key areas: access to finance, market access, digital transformation, and green financing, all aimed at strengthening MSME resilience and competitiveness. Prime Secretary Susan Mangeni underscored the opportunity to attract investors and expand regional trade linkages. Kenya now sets the stage for the 25th East African Community MSME Trade Fair, and with the President of Kenya as its patron, the MSME sector enjoys the highest level of national commitment.
So, Waziri, this will be the 7th time, if I'm not wrong, that Kenya once again will be playing host to this very important event, the 25th East Africa Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Trade Fair. And so, if we were a human being, how old shall we be? 25. And which category will be Gen Z? So this is clearly a Gen Z fair, a Gen Z trade fair. And because it's a Gen Z trade fair, we have to do it differently, taking into consideration the feeling, the opportunities, the challenges, and the expectation of the most vibrant segment of our population today, not just in Kenya, but also in the larger continent of Africa. So the expectations are high. So when we say we are going to set standards, that's where we are coming from. We are not just doing it the way it's been done, but you're doing it to meet the context and the space of our young people who we think that they can take advantage of this sector, create their own jobs, and also help governments in the region to create jobs for the rest of the young generation.
And the emphasis there was that it is not just brick and mortar that is important. We can do brick and mortar, build the roads, have the best infrastructure. But if we have no focus on MSMEs, to create economic activity, to create jobs for our people, then the street demonstrations will continue on the best roads that we will have built. So this is a critical sector, and I'm happy that all of you who are here.
A group of young people has planted trees in a high-density suburbs in Zimbabwe, Harare. The project, run by climate activist Gwini, hopes to engage young people and bring access to climate challenges faced by the community and others living in lower-income neighborhoods.
Where I come from, high density suburb, it felt like you are too much heat, like you are in an oven. When you go to the northern suburbs, all of a sudden the environment has changed. It's cool. It's it's just beautiful to be in. And I realized that the major difference was in the tree density. We have planted over 7,500 trees since 2020. So that's 5 years of planting. We plant almost every month.
The population in Harare itself, we are over 2 million people. Imagine 10 years going backwards, 10 years going backwards. This wasn't the situation, which means we have cut down.
Tensions are rising in Ivory Coast as President Alassane Ouattara seeks a controversial fourth term in office. The announcement comes just ahead of the country's 65th independence anniversary, marked by a military parade with notable foreign participation. With the opposition facing legal hurdles and protests brewing, the road to October's election is already proving turbulent. Here's more on the story.
Yes, I am a candidate because the constitution of our country allows me to seek another term, and my health permits it. I am a candidate because our country is facing unprecedented security, economic and monetary challenges, the management of which requires experience.
Just days after President Alassane Ouattara announced a controversial fourth-term bid, Ivory Coast announced 65 years of independence with a military parade in Bouaké. Ouattara appeared in a military vehicle joined by French, American and Moroccan troops, highlighting the country's continued Western alliances, even as neighbors distance themselves from France.
A country's strength is certainly measured by its socio-economic development, but also by strength of its army. This military parade demonstrated the military power that is Ivory Coast. We are pleased that friendly countries like the United States, France and Morocco participated in this parade, and all of this reflects Ivory Coast's position.
Peace efforts, according to Ukraine's foreign minister, who stated that the country is ready for peace talks with Russia, insisting a meeting between leaders from Kyiv and Moscow would be the most effective step to achieve a ceasefire, which will involve the U.S., as Davis Karani reports.
They would like to meet with me, and I'll do whatever I can to stop the killings.
The U.S. has said that it is prepared to initiate a third round of direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine and is awaiting details from Kyiv. A meeting which Zelensky challenged Putin to meet him personally in Istanbul in May.
We have many friends who are ready to help us organize such meetings. One of them is the president of the United Arab Emirates, so I think we'll decide on something. This would be one of the very suitable places.
The Ukrainian president has spent a day in briefing Kyiv's European allies after his phone call with Donald Trump.
So last month, they lost 14,000 people killed last month. Every week is 4,000 or 5,000 people. So I don't like long waits. I think it's a shame. And they're mostly soldiers. They're Ukrainian and Russian soldiers, and some people from the cities where, you know, missiles are lobbed in and you'll lose 35, 40 people a night, which is terrible. But no, mostly it's soldiers, and you're talking about, on average, 20,000 a month. 20,000 people are dying a month. Young, generally young people, soldiers.
The EU will also play a major role in the reconstruction of this country after war. And this will be one of the largest economic projects for the whole Europe in decades, according to President Zelensky.
This, of course, can become an important historic event, an event when Russia's position will be clearly conveyed to President Trump. And we hope that this dialogue will continue even more actively, including in the economic area.
Davis Karani for GBS News.
Netanyahu has said he doesn't want Israel to govern Gaza, but rather to hand it over to an unspecified Arab force that will not threaten Israel. Senior Hamas leader Osama Hamdan has asked about those remarks. He says no Arab government will want to partner with Netanyahu.
First of all, this is a reconfirmation by Netanyahu that the occupation in Gaza is still ongoing. Whether it be through the siege of Gaza or ongoing military operations or future prospects. And it is what we have been saying all along as a resistance movement that the occupation is still ongoing. So any insinuation that the occupation is retreating or intending to retreat is full of delusions and misleading. The second issue, he is threatening another military operation and threatening more killing. And this raises a big questions around the world about the stance of the international community, the stance of international institutions, and the United Nations and the rest of the world, who continually lecture us about how to deal with the Zionist entity. The Zionist entity intends to continue killing, and there is no one standing up to say that this war criminal should be stopped and that this person who is wanted by International Criminal Court should be handed over. The third and the alarming issue here is that he is indicating that the Arab region overall is willing to cooperate with the occupation to continue its crime of killing the Palestinian people and to force the occupation of the people. He is saying that he wants to hand the stripe to an Arab armed force. The question is the armed force legitimate or is it an armed militia supported by Israel? If it is the former, then which country or countries will openly admit that it's partnering in controlling Palestinians' land? And the question then is, what will be the Palestinian position? Will we deal with it as an occupation force linked to Israel?
A stellar report there. It is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 2114. We'll be right back.
Our riddle for the day, guys. I am easy to lift but hard to throw. What am I?
I've been a sculptor for many years now. It's about 44 years since I started doing as professional state artist.
For 44 years. That's almost half a century. But now, where did it start? Before the 44 years, where did it start?
For me, I use art to document culture and speak more about human life and activities through art, because I regard art as visual literature.
Anza wiki yako kwa njia sahihi kwa GBS Jumatatu.
Niko nawe hadi mida ya saa 4 asubuhi. Kwanza niseme asante kwa kuzidi kufuatilia na kutazama vipindi vyetu ambavyo huwa tunakuandalia hapa ndani ya GBS TV Jumatatu. People are now seeing the money that have been given to church as a brand.
Jiunge nasi kila Jumatatu asubuhi kuanzia saa 1:30.
Nimesikia mwenzangu akifanya hesabu hapo ya vile ambavyo miungano zitakuwa. Ruto is going to fail whether with Raila or without Raila.
Kuna mahali anakosea akisema ati Raila na Ruto wataungana. Hakuna kuungana iko hapo, ndugu yangu, acha nikwambie ukweli.
Hadithi za kunoga.
Ukiangalia Wakenya, wananchi wa Kenya, pia hao maisha yao imedhulumiwa kwa kuongezwa kwa taxes, ziko very high taxes. So the statement by Rigathi Gachagua is just statement ya kumcheck that we can see you we can see between the lines.
Na mazungumzo yenye nguvu ya kukuletea utulivu kwa wiki yako.
Ati Raila ataingia UDA.
Hiyo ndoto mimi yote nasema hawezi, sababu nasema hivi mheshimiwa, ikiwa Raila
itakuwa, mimi naona itakuwa
hadi saa 4 za asubuhi kwa majadiliano ya kusisimua.
Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto ajue ya kwamba sasa yeye ni president wa Kenya. Sio mambo ya kufanyia wana Kenya mzaha, kupoteza biashara kwa siku moja katika CPD. Nafikiria ni jambo ambalo ni rais.
Usikose, ingia kwenye GBS TV. Anza Jumatatu yako kwa kusudi.
If the government does not spend, my brother, hakuna maendeleo inaonekana, hakuna barabara zinatengenezwa, hakuna dawa kwa hospitali, my friend, economies will not grow.
Tuonane panapo majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu.
GBS Jumatatu, palipo mjadala wa leo na mwelekeo wa kesho.
AS and A levels is a qualification program that is advanced. That is after one has completed the high GCSE program, then they advise to continue for AS and A level. AS typically is a 1-year program, and A levels is done in the 2nd year after completing the AS level. And this one equips the student with the knowledge that is recommended for the university and also by employers outside the countries or within the country.
Everywhere, GBS.
It is time for your most favorite segment of the show, the Sports News. Let's get sporty. It was a night of drama, resilience and raw emotion at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, as Kenya's Harambee Stars faced off against Angola in their second Group A clash of the 2024 African Nation Championship. With the home crowd behind them and playing much of the game with 10 men, the Stars dug deep to secure a crucial point. Here is more on what unfolded.
At a packed Kasarani Stadium, Kenya's Harambee Stars battled to a spirited 1-1 draw against Angola in their second Group A match of the 2024 CHAN. Joe Pasensia gave Angola an early lead in the 7th minute. But Austin Odhiambo could equalize from the penalty spot just 5 minutes later. Kenya was reduced to 10 men in the 21st minute after Marvin Omondi's red card, but the hosts held firm. Goalkeeper Brian Omondi pulled off several key saves to keep Kenya in the game, while late chances from Crispin Erambo and Sylvester Owino nearly snatched a win. Angola thought they had won it in stoppage time, but VAR ruled out their goal for offside. The final whistle brought relief and celebration for Kenya, who now top Group A with 4 points from 2 matches.
I'm just excited. I'm just happy for the players that they weren't denied all the hard work they've done to go so early down, a man down. And they fought, they showed resilience, and hopefully the fans could be happy with what they saw. They saw a team that will fight till the last minute, you know. And for next, now we turn our attention to our next match, and hopefully we cut out all the mistakes, because the mistakes is what's costing us. We cause ourselves a lot of pain because, you know, I know it's players to still get nervous now. I understand the occasion is big, but I think it's players now, you have to take control and you can't still be nervous. And our team, again, first half, we looked extremely nervous. Second half, everyone calms down and then you play accordingly. But football, you can't play 45 minutes and then the other 45 minutes you don't play, because that's why the levels are completely different, you know?
Elvin Muyodi, GBS Sports.
Moving on swiftly, General Service Unit GSU men's volleyball head coach Gideon Taras has been named as the SGAK Coach of the Month for July, following his impressive leadership that saw the team reclaim the Kenya Volleyball Federation League title. GSU, the 2024 champions, successfully defended their title in 2025, maintaining their status as the country's volleyball powerhouse. Taras masterminded GSU's dominance run in the playoffs held at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, where his charges turned heads with clinical performances. GSU beat Kapu 3-1 in the quarterfinals, swept Kenya Prisons 3-0 in the semi-finals, and mounted a remarkable comeback to edge Kenya Defence Forces 3-2 in a thrilling final, winning the inaugural Kenya Cup. Coach Taras beat out strong competition for the July accolade, finishing ahead of Coach Japheth Munala, who came second for a second consecutive month, and Strathmore University Rugby's Willis Ojal. Last month's award was collected by Kenya Police FC coach for his role in leading the team to their maiden league title. SGAK President James Waindi congratulated the tactician for his stellar run, noting that the monthly Coaches Award was introduced to recognize the often overlooked role of coaches in driving team success. The Sports Journalists Association of Kenya continues to shine a light on coaching excellence across all sporting disciplines through the monthly recognition program.
No, we are very happy with the partnership that we have. Importantly for us is the fact that we are nurturing talent from different sports. I think football, rugby, volleyball, and handball, I think that's very interesting that SJAK is going out to all sports and discovering the best of the coaches out there. I think Coach Tarus has been consistent. I think the word that I want to use around him is consistent. In April he was second, and he's come out and won now in the month of July. You heard him say that last year they lost and this year they've become champions. So he's very consistent as a coach. I think kudos to him and his players for all the efforts that we're putting in.
I'm so happy, especially to the players, how we played, and then to you people for recognizing coaches. I've been seeing players being recognized, but not coaches. So I'm so happy for you. Okay, it was a long journey. We started last year, September. We played, we had a lose, we had the win, and then the last minute the win came. And then the other year, 2024, we lost. So it was a great joy for winning this year championship.
It is a moment that we are very happy as the National Police Service, and in particular the General Service Unit, expressing my very deep appreciation for the unit commandant, who has been very supportive, especially in ensuring that we achieve this feat. Congratulations Gideon for this feat. Gideon is a person I've known for a very long time. His dedication to sporting is unequaled. He's done it several times, and we thank Betika and these are conglomerate of journalists for having found it in fit to be honored.
The Kenya Rugby Union has officially confirmed that the 2025 edition of the Safari 7 tournament will take place from the 10th to 12th October in Nairobi. This will be the 27th edition of the prestigious tournament, which has grown to become one of the Africa's premier rugby sevens events since its inception in 1996. The competition will feature both local and international teams across men's and women's categories, with national sides, clubs, universities, and invitational teams expected to grace the event. Now, this will be the first time the tournament returns to Nyayo Stadium since 2021, when Shujaa edged out Germany in the final. After a one-year stint in Machakos in 2024, the tournament returns to the capital of Nyayo Stadium. Last year's tournament saw Kenya's Shujaa clinch their third straight Safari Sevens title after a 12-0 win over Shogun Rugby in the men's final, while Spain's Costa Blanca Barbarians defeated Kenya's Lionesses to claim the women's crown. The KRU has been fielding both the Shujaa and Morans in the past editions. Last year, Shujaa narrowly eliminated Morans in the semi-final stage, with Kenya's top sides and invented international teams expected to return. This year's tournament promises another exciting showcase of the sevens rugby. San has agreed to a contract with Los Angeles FC, finalizing his move to a Major League Soccer after a decade at Tottenham Hotspur. The 33-year-old South Korea keeper has moved to North London from Bayer Leverkusen in 2015, bagging 173 goals and 101 assists in 454 appearances and leading them to their first trophy in 17 years by winning the Europa League title. Los Angeles FC formally introduced San at the news conference. The club showed the forward on the stadium video board as he waved to roaring fans, thrilled by their team's landmark acquisition. Now, Los Angeles FC reportedly paid a transfer fee of more than $20 million, which could end up being the most ever for MLS move. San was a beloved presence at Spurs and has been given a memorable farewell in Seoul during Tottenham exhibition match against Newcastle, getting a guard of honor from both teams. Now, South Korea's most popular athlete and almost certainly the greatest Asian soccer player in history has chosen an auspicious stage for the next chapter of his groundbreaking career. San's move to California also puts him in a position to have an effect on and off the field at the World Cup, which will be held across North America in 2026. San, the captain of the national team, has already said he will play in his fourth World Cup.
I need a new challenge, which is that I choose LAFC, and obviously I'm think we can say I'm old, but I still have a good physicality, good legs, and still have a good quality, I would say. And obviously I'm here to perform, but also that I want to give some advice to the young players that for improvement. So yeah, I can't just wait to see all the teammates and all the players that are working together. So that's why we are here. So.
We have come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time, same channel. My name is Stephen George. We make your news our business. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Paul Madenge. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.